God, last night's game would not end. They went 14 innings. Like, I got pissed off because I'm like, hello, I want to watch Modern Family reruns. Coming to you pre-tape from the Best Coast Show studios. This is the Best Coast Show. I am your host, Albert Aguilera. That is my producer, Curtis Stage. Curtis, our winning streak is now 6 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the Kings are looking really good. Last week, we were worried a little. Well, I was worried. You weren't so worried. It's early in the season. Now they're starting to come together. So our rundown is the Kings have now are on a winning streak. Jonathan Quick has won 5 in a row. All of his save percentages, everything's getting better. Lucic has found a home, and the Kings are the most penalized team in the NHL already to start the season. We'll have to talk about that. And so let's get started.
Yeah, we're the most penalized team in the league, which doesn't surprise me because it happens just about every year. And like we talked about in our last episode, our forwards are very aggressive. So our forwards are taking penalties, our defensemen are taking penalties. And what we experienced the first 3 games of the season was we were getting into more fights than goals scored.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that had a big thing to do with it.
I like, but...
Well, it just shows you how good this defense is and how good the team as a unit are because they're the most penalized team in the league, yet they've only given up 18 goals in 9 games.
So they're stingy. The penalties aren't they're kind of purposeful penalties is what you're saying. They're not going to be penalties that are going to cost them.
Well, I mean, eventually they will. Down the line, I mean, this coming week we got Nashville, we got Chicago, we got St. Louis.
Some better
teams. You can't be 5-on-4 too often with teams like that because they're going to take advantage of it. They're going to score on you.
Through this streak, the Kings have scored a few times on the power play, which they weren't doing to start the season.
We were almost dead last in the power play to start the season. But again, that's another thing that we always suck at.
Yeah,
but it's really great to see that now the team is clicking. They had the whole summer to recover from injuries, from surgeries, from just 3 straight years of going deep into the playoffs. And I think to start the year, they came on the ice and were kind of like, all right, we're fresh. But they still weren't gelling as a unit. Yeah. But now, they lose 3 in a row. People are ready to jump off of bridges. And suddenly we win these 6 in a row. And things are clicking now. You see that the defensive pairs are clicking. You see, like you said, Lucic found a home on that line with Carter and Toffoli. Yeah. Things are starting to click.
Yeah, and Quick's now starting to make more saves. His percentage has gone up now, so he's now starting to put it together. But it helps when you have a good defense in front of you because he's not getting blocked out as much. He's seeing the puck better when it's coming at him. Those kind of things. Yeah,
and in the winning streak, he's 5-0. His goals against has dropped to exactly 2. His save percentage, we're talking about, it's garbage right now because it's under 900. He's gotten it up to 930, which is where we wanted him to be. I mean, he's got 965 save percentage in this winning streak, and he's given up less than a goal a game.
Yeah, they're going to win a lot if he's given up less than a goal a game. I mean, he's averaging 2 goals a game for the season, but in this streak, if you're giving up 1 goal a game, maybe 0, but 1, you're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, and that's the kind of team that we are. We go out there, I mean, to start off the game with Winnipeg, we went down 1-0 right away. Well, not right away, in the middle of the second period.
And this is on the road.
And this is on the road, yeah. We're 3-0 on the road. No Kings team has done that since like 89, 90. Yeah. So it's like, okay, there's something going on right now, which is great. And defensively, even though we're giving up the penalties, we're there. We're being stingy. We're winning these games 1-0, 2-1, and it's great because that's the kind of team that we are, and it's what people expect. Where we're not going to give up a lot of goals. We're not going to score a ton. Where if you look at that line with Toffoli, Carter, and Luch, they've got 12 of the 20 goals scored. So that line, and Toffoli's got 7 of them.
Yeah. Toffoli's playing great right now. I mean, he's on fire. Why is that? Why is he playing so well at this point?
He's getting older. He's getting more mature. His skills are getting better. I mean,
he's what, 23? How old is he? He looks like a baby. I mean, the kid. I saw him at a post-game interview last week, and I'm like, that kid looks like he's 15. I mean, he does. I don't think he.
Let me rephrase that. He's getting more experienced within the league, and it does help to be on a line with Carter and Lucic.
It does.
Well, you look at the 70s line we had last year. That line was scoring at will. And the line kind of disassembled itself when Pearson broke his leg and he went away. But that line, Carter being the center, was forced to be the guy over the middle, shading the goalie, trying to be a brute in front of him. And that's not necessarily his role. Carter is a sniper. He's going to shoot from the outside. He shoots really hard. He skates very fast. And when Lucic was up on the first line with Gabrick and Kopitar, Gabrick and Luch kind of have that role where they're the guy that hovers over the net, try to tip it in, let me use my hand-eye to get a rebound.
So you don't need 2 guys in there
clogging that up. But you don't need 2 guys to do that. Yeah. And now that Lucic is on the second line, I don't know why we call it the second line because it's been starting as the first line recently, But now that Lucic is on that line with Carter, Carter doesn't have to be the guy that goes over the goalie. Lucic is now the guy that goes over the goalie, which is great because it lets Toffoli continue to attack, and it lets Carter shoot from the outside the way they're built to play.
Exactly. So now there's more of a balance on the offense and Lucic is finding his spots on the ice now, and he knows where players are going to be now.
I don't know how he does that. I mean, that shows you how good he is because the dude's slow.
Yeah,
he's
not
slow.
Well, he's big.
And the way he keeps up with Carter and Toffoli, you see that he's a step or two behind, but he's just there and he's very aware of where they're going to be. That's why his points coming through us are assists.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 goals in that line too.
Well, and he had one play where he blocked out the goaltender, and it was a great block out, and we scored on that play. And it wasn't technically an assist, but to me that was. I mean, it was a great play because they don't score that goal if he doesn't block out the goaltender.
Yeah, I mean, because he's such a large guy and he's very physical, and he tries to. I mean, they were trying to argue that it was goalie interference. I know what play you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, so long as you stay off the crease and you're not physically bumping the goalie,
he might have been bumping the goalie a little bit, but he wasn't on the crease.
If they didn't call it, it didn't happen.
Exactly. Like you kind of mentioned, we've got some tough games. These are all teams that are ahead of the Kings.
Yeah, they're all ahead of us in the standings, in the conference standings, because we're going to go to Tennessee. Then we got Chicago, and we're going over St. Louis. Those are going to be 3 really tough games before we come back home when we play Columbus. I think they started off 0-7, 0-8, but they've won their last 2. They fired their coach. They won their last 2. So I guess it might be a turning point for them.
They're still not that good of a team.
They're still not that good of a team, no. But right now, the hard part is going to be Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville, Chicago. These will be early season tests, and I think that and the Kings are rolling right now. So we just want good games, even if they maybe go 1-2, but they play tough, good games. That could set a tone for the rest of it. But we want them to go 3-0, obviously. Right. But they could set a tone for later in the season when we play these teams again, or a couple weeks from now.
Well, because these 3 teams are playoff teams. Mm-hmm. These 3 teams are expected to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and we're far from that. But it's nice if we're just playing well now against these teams, and if you can jump over some people in the standings right now, that's good.
Yeah, and I think the key for this team, playing the way they're playing, they're finally gelling, and they have their system intact. I think the key for this team this year is going to be staying healthy. Last year's problem was guys were going down constantly, and we missed the playoffs by 4 points. It's like, okay, Sekera doesn't go down, or we don't lose Martinez for like a month and a half or 2 months.
Yeah.
Then those 4 points would have been made up somewhere else. We'd have made the playoffs. So I think the key right now for this team, and losing Pearson for almost the entire season, the key for this team is stay healthy.
How are they going to stay healthy? It's hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't.
It's not like they go out trying to get hurt, because you would imagine like Clifford getting in another fight last night.
Yeah.
It was, okay, he looks at the guy across from him and says, all right, bro, as soon as the puck drops, I'm dropping my gloves. We're going to fight. You don't want to be doing that because you get punched in the head. These guys are throwing haymakers. I don't like hockey fights so much because I watch a lot of MMA, UFC stuff, World Series of Fighting stuff.
Yeah.
And you have 2 guys that are going in for a fight who are technical fighters. In a hockey match, you got 2 goons that are not fighters that are going to pull on each other's jersey and just throw haymakers, hoping something lands.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to watch Diego Sanchez fight, which is really frustrating. But at the same time, I like it because it's in a way a gentleman's sport where you and I have a disagreement. We're competing in this game, but we're going to fight right now. And after we fight, or one of us falls to the ice, it's over. It's cool. We're bros again, and let's get back to playing.
Exactly. But we don't want somebody to get hurt needlessly.
Yeah.
Chances are slim that our Kings are going to be getting hurt,
right,
because they're the bigger team usually.
It's a very physical team. It's a very physical sport, and just wear and tear over your body for 9 months, something's going to happen. You're going to get shin splints. You might get a concussion. You might break a bone. You might do something.
Well, that's why it's good to have a strong bench so that you're taking some heat off some of the frontline players that could, they're all going to play their minutes. It's all going to equal out at the end, but you don't have to we got to count on these guys to win a game if everybody's playing.
That's what happened last year. Yeah. Last year, Doughty had 31 minutes a game last year.
Playing too much.
You can't have guys eating minutes like that. Yeah.
You're going to wear down. All right, what's our gift of the day?
All right, guys, our gift of the day, you might remember this. This is from last Sunday's NFL. We have Kirk Cousins walking off the field and yelling at the reporters, "You like that? You like that?" That's in reference to, I guess, me yelling at you guys, because a lot of you guys were ready to jump off a bridge when we started off 0-3, and you were panicking, and you were whining and crying about the Jones trade, and, is Daryl Sutter still the guy for this team, and blah, blah, blah. But now that we won 6 in a row, it's nice to see that you guys have stepped off that ledge. Right?
Right.
All right. So let's see if we can continue this winning streak. Go ahead and stalk us on the Twitter at Best Coast Show. And you guys have a good night.